This is Optimal Startup Daily, episode 486, User Growth and Engagement, a Hacker Metric, Part 1, by Nir Eyal of NirAndFar.com. And hey again, I am Dan. I am your host and your narrator here on Optimal Startup Daily, where I read to you every single day from some of the best blogs we can find on entrepreneurship. Now, today's post is a little bit longer than usual, so what I'm going to do, like I usually do in these situations, is read the first half for you today and then finish up the rest tomorrow. So with that, let's get right to part 1 as we optimize your life. User Growth and Engagement, a Hacker Metric, Part 1 by Nir Eyal of NirAndFar.com. If you're like me, you've had enough of the Facebook IPO story. For tech entrepreneurs starting to build stuff, the cacophony of recent press is just more noise. That's why when my friend Andrew Chen posted an insightful analysis of Facebook user data, I was happy to get back to learning from what the company did right, instead of debating what its bankers did wrong. Chen calculated Facebook's historical ratio of daily active users, DAU, to monthly active users, MAU, and the stats are startling. Since March 2009, when the earliest data is available, approximately 50% of Facebook users logged in daily. As other technology companies struggle to maintain DAU to MAU ratios of 5% or less, Facebook's numbers appear stratospherically high in comparison. But what is equally surprising is the consistency of that ratio over time. Despite periodic user revolts in reaction to changes in the site, the ratio remains strangely stable. In fact, the number has risen over the past year and is now hovering at 58% as of March of this year. It's as if Zuckerberg has steered the company by this golden ratio. Which raises the question, is there some wisdom here regarding this ratio as a predictor of internet success? Obviously, there are no guarantees, and starting cutting-edge tech companies will always be risky business. But assuming you have a solid business model, there are good reasons to believe that if there is one metric to focus on while building your business, it's the percentage of users who come back daily as expressed by this ratio. As I've written previously, I believe a mastery of the mechanics of habit design is increasingly deciding startup winners and losers, not only because habits cement user behavior in an increasingly cluttered digital world, but because a high engagement product is also a high growth product. The two are one and the same. A high DAU to MAU ratio is a great indicator of the strength of user habits, and, ceteris paribus, I'd bet on a business with the higher ratio over a competitor every time. Here's why. More is more. When it comes to web and mobile startups, high DAU to MAU is more important than the size or growth rate of an entrenched competitor. Case in point, Facebook defeated much earlier competitors like MySpace and Friendster, both of which had healthy user growth rates and millions of users by the time Facebook got started. This is because of what I call the more is more principle. High user engagement has an exponential effect on user growth. As David Skoke points out on his blog, quote, "The most important factor to increasing growth is not the viral coefficient, but the viral cycle time," end quote. Viral cycle time is the amount of time it takes to complete a viral loop, and it has a massive impact on user growth. For example, after 20 days with a cycle time of 2 days, you will have 20,470 users, Skoke writes. Quote, "But if you halved that cycle time to 1 day, you would have over 20 million users. It is logical that it would be better to have more cycles occur, but it is less obvious just how much better." End quote. Having a greater proportion of DAUs dramatically improves viral cycle time for 2 reasons. First, daily users initiate loops more often. Think tagging a photo on Facebook. Second, more daily active users means more people to respond and react to each invitation. The cycle not only perpetuates, with high DAU to MAU, it accelerates. One way to grow. Those who talk tech split into 2 dogmatic camps. Some prioritize user growth and accept low user engagement, while others believe a company needs to nail user engagement before focusing on user growth. I believe this is a false dichotomy. If you have only one or the other, congratulations, you've got squat. Let's first take a look at user growth. Distribution, of course, is critically important, and no company can survive without a sound customer acquisition strategy. Not only is user growth essential, but it's something engineer-driven companies love to work on. In fact, the title of growth hacker has recently become a badge of honor among Silicon Valley digerati. Tweaking viral coefficients and instantly seeing the results is intoxicating. It's startup feedback at its finest. But optimizing user growth without user engagement has its pitfalls. As Peter Thiel recently told his class at Stanford, the effectiveness of distribution channels tends to follow a power law. Just as businesses tend to have only one revenue stream, they also have only one good user growth strategy, the effectiveness of which is 10x the results of other distribution channels. The problem with having only one real way to grow is that the method becomes obvious to others and is quickly copied. For example, in its early days, Facebook capitalized on users importing their email contact list to drive user growth. But soon thereafter, so did everyone else. But having competitors copy you is a high-class problem. It means something is working. Worse yet is discovering a fantastic viral loop that drives user growth, only to see user engagement crater when users realize there's little long-term value in the service. Ringtone businesses, sheep-throwing Facebook games circa 2008, and today's social video sharing apps using questionable growth tactics are just a few of the leaky bucket businesses that occur when distribution outpaces user engagement. When it comes to building a big business, clearly a good acquisition channel is mandatory but not sufficient. Given the power law of user growth, you will likely only have one major way of acquiring customers, and it won't be much of a secret. You'll need some other competitive advantage. To be continued. You just listened to part 1 of the post titled User Growth and Engagement, a Hacker Metric by Nir Eyal of NirAndFar.com. Now, you've heard it here before. You need the right team to make your business thrive. Indeed makes it easy to hire and build a team with the right skills to make your dreams a reality. Indeed partners with you at every step of the hiring process. Find great talent through time-saving tools like Indeed Instant Match, assessments, and virtual interviews. And Indeed is the only job site where you're guaranteed to find quality applications that meet your must-have requirements, or else you don't pay. Instead of spending hours on multiple job sites hoping to find candidates with the right skills, you need one powerful hiring partner that can help you do it all. I love that Indeed makes hiring all in one place so easy, and Indeed saves you headaches. Interview virtually with no downloads, no plugins, and no purchases. You really can do it all in one place with Indeed. Start hiring right now with a $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your job post at Indeed.com/startup. Offer valid through March 31st. Go to Indeed.com/startup to claim your $75 credit before March 31st. That's Indeed.com/startup. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed. And thank you so much to Nir. His name and site, by the way, are spelled N-I-R, and Nir previously taught as a lecturer in marketing at the Stanford Graduate School of Business and the Hasso-Plattner Institute of Design at Stanford. He currently writes, consults, and teaches about the intersection of psychology, technology, and business, or as Nir refers to it, behavioral design. Since 2003, Nir has co-founded and sold 2 tech companies and was dubbed by the MIT Technology Review as the prophet of habit-forming technology. He's also the author of 2 best-selling books. They are Hooked, How to Build Habit-Forming Technology, and Indistractable, How to Control Your Attention and Choose Your Life. And both of those are highly reviewed books. You can check them out, as well as his blog and much more at NirAndFar.com. Again, that's NirAndFar.com, and I have that linked in this episode's description. Okay, that's going to do it for episode 486 of our podcast. I thank you so much, as always, for being here, and I will see you right back here tomorrow, where we're going to finish up this post from Nir and where your optimal life awaits.